Hi everyone. Welcome to Style3D channel. In this video, I'll show you how to create the animation for the visual garment. So let's started. Let's take a look at the final effect of the film. First, this top needs to have a pattern sewn on each side. Fix the hem. Use the rectangle created to create a 10 by 10 pattern. Use the free sewing tool. Change the sewing thread type to turned. Right-click with the Selection Move tool in the 3D view, move the pattern to the outside. Add a new fabric. Assign the new pattern. Adjust the pattern's position, try not to penetrate the model. Adjust the particle distance to 10, extra collision thickness of 0.01. Press the space key to start the simulation. Ctrl+D to clone symmetrical pattern with seam. Use the free sewing tool to sew on the other side. The sewing thread for both patterns is seam. Change the shrinkage ratio weft to 80 first. Then change it to 50 after simulation. Right-click and use Symmetry the shape. Sew the other end of the pattern. Set sketch transparency of the new fabric to 0. Next, use the Tack to Avatar tool. Start with the Selection Move tool. Select the patterns to be hidden. Hide the patterns behind with Shift+Q. On the inside pattern, tack the hip area. Tack to the model. Shoulders and back also need tack seams to the model. Use the editing tack tool. Change the thread length of the tack line on the hips to 0.1. Use Shift plus Q twice to show all patterns. Change the fabric weight of all patterns to 350. Start the simulation. These steps are taken to avoid clothing penetration issues in animations and ensure proper fitting. Next, create the scene. Create a new project file. Save this project file as the scene. Import the OBJ format file water surface. Change the loading type to add. Object type load as prop. Resize the imported prop. Turn on the lock aspect ratio button, change the y-axis value to 200. Adjust the position. Right under the feet. Observe the value 200 is small, change it to 260. Add normal texture. Change the normal map intensity to 0.6. Change the render type to metallic. During this process, keep adjusting the angles and model positions until satisfied. Next, import the OBJ file. Stone 1. Set loading type as add, object load as prop. Import and resize the prop, turn on lock aspect ratio, change Y value to 200. Adjust the position to the model's left side. Next, import the OBJ file Stone 2, change loading type to add. Object type load as prop. Import and resize the prop, turn on lock aspect ratio, change Y value to 200. Observe and change the value to 100. Adjust the position below the model's feet, parallel to the working plane. Add diffuse mapping to the stones. Normal texture. Gloss map. Change the gloss to 3.8. Change normal intensity to 1.5. Rendering type set to matte. Other stone parameters are the same. Adjust the stone positions as needed. Next, import the OBJ file, Style3D, loading type is set to add, object type is load as prop. Open the lock aspect ratio button, adjust the y-axis value to 200. Place it on appropriate position. Press 5 to adjust the stone's position in top view, rather convenient. Add diffuse map. Normal texture. Gloss map. All parameters are consistent with other stones. At this time, the stone color is lighter. The stone color needs to be darker. Overlay a suitable color. Copy this color to the other stones. Copy stone 1. No need to add it again here. The stone needs to be made a bit larger. Change the y-axis to 150. Adjust the stone's position. Needs to be parallel to the working plane. Add prop tree. Object type is load as prop. Loading type is set to add. Modify the model size. Open the lock aspect ratio button. Modify the y-axis value to 800. Place it directly in front of the model. The tree is not big enough at this point. Modify the Y value. Y-axis value is 850. Render type is metal. Add diffuse map and normal texture. Normal strength is 0.3. Next, import the mountain model. Loading type is add, object type is load as prop. Modify the model size. Open the lock aspect ratio button. Modify the Y-axis value to 800. Place it behind the model to see the effect. The effect is not good. Place it behind the tree. Place it in a nice-looking spot. Add diffuse map. Change color blending mode to recolor. Choose a slightly grayish color. Copy another mountain. Adjust size and position from different angles. The position of the mountain should not be too far or too close. Copy another mountain again. Adjust size and position from different angles. Adjust size and position. The other side needs 2 more mountains. You can adjust other sizes of the props as needed. Achieve the desired effect. You don't need to open the lock aspect ratio button at this time. Directly change the x-axis of this mountain to 200. Scene creation is complete, centered around the model's perspective. Rotate the view. Observing the surroundings and making final position adjustments to the props. Select the scene in the upper right corner viewport. Save this scene. Return to the clothing project file. Open the scene file you just created. Loading type is set to add. After importing the scene, check the scene again. Check in the top right corner window after inspection. Find Environment in the Scene menu. Add a background image. Change the fill mode to fit. Open the animation editor from the Tools menu. Open Settings and change the simulation frame rate to 150. Add an action. Place the cursor above. You can preview in a small window. Select High Heels Runway Eye. Check the Start from Current Position option. The bottom editor can be zoomed in and out using the mouse wheel. Add another business pose. Check Add Pose. Transition the body to the initial position of the pose. At this point, the clothing won't move with the model. Adjust the frame first. Click the record button again to start recording. This process takes some time. Speed up the footage. After recording is done, you can drag the progress bar to view the runway action. Adjust the prop position based on the recorded actions. Make the model stand on the stone without going through. Take a step. Adjust a bit. This process requires continuous angle and prop position adjustments. Prop check complete. Now you can start creating. Camera keyframes number. At 0 seconds into the animation, lock in a view directly above the tree. Right-click to add a keyframe number. At the first second, add a view from within the tree fork observing the model. At 3 seconds, add a close-up view of the model. In the next frame, add a view from behind the stone. When creating, adjust the angle first, then add keyframes number. Change the transition type of this keyframe to jumping. Check the angle effect after adding. In the next frame, continue adding a keyframe number. For this keyframe, use a linear transition effect. At 6 seconds, add a keyframe number with a view from behind the model. At 9 seconds, add a keyframe number with an overhead view of the model from behind. In the next frame, add a keyframe number with an upward view of the model. Transition effect is jumping. At 11 seconds. Add a keyframe number with a close-up upward view of the model. Transition effect changed to jumping. Drag the progress bar to check angle accuracy. At 12.5 seconds, add an overhead view. Adjust using shortcut key 5. After adding, continue checking. The 14th second. Add a default keyframe number. Add a reversed perspective on the next frame. Transition effect, jumping. Two keyframes number must be adjacent. .5 second. Add a keyframe number for a panoramic reversed perspective. Add a distant perspective keyframe number at the 16.5 second. Next frame, add a close-up shot of the model's upper body perspective keyframe number. Transition effect, jumping. Find visually appealing angles in each shot. Add keyframes number again. (18.5th second). Add a keyframe number for an upward perspective full-body shot of the model. Find the best-looking angle. After adding keyframes number, drag the progress bar to the beginning. Click the play button. Watch the perspective from start to finish. Check for any issues with the angles. Next, start adding lighting. Turn on offline rendering mode. Open rendering image property. Modify frame size. This frame size matches the animation editor's frame size. First, check the current lighting with synchronization. Open rendering image property again. Modify the background image. Select an image with top to bottom. Color transition. Change the color to match the 3D window. Change rendering tools according to computer specifications. Change background fill mode to fit. Frequently open synchronization. To view rendering effects. In overhead view, add a rectangle light. Adjust lightboard position. Open the set light. Change dome light intensity to 0.2. Synchronize rendering. Not bright enough. Continue to modify to 0.5. Change rectangle light intensity to 0.8. Duplicate 2 rectangle light on both sides. Angle for both side plane rectangle light is 45 degrees downward. Synchronize rendering. Check clothing rendering effects. Add another plane rectangle light. Adjust the angle. Change width to 800. Change height to 500. Change to a different, slightly reddish yellow color. Adjust the perspective. Synchronize rendering. View lighting effects from different angles. Observe clothing rendering effects, scene rendering effects. Continuously adjust lightboard positions, parameters, to achieve the desired effects. Move the animation progress bar to 8 seconds. Check rendering effects. Lighting for the trees is needed. Add a rectangle light. Width is 500, height is 500. Drag the progress bar to 10 seconds. Lighting for the model is needed. Add a rectangle light. Adjust to the appropriate angle. Synchronize to view the effect. Change intensity to 1.5. Finally, check the overall production. Inspection is complete. Now you can export or render the video. Export or render video button. On the left side of the animation editor settings. That's it guys, and I hope some of the tips will help your modeling work. If you like what we do, please liking, commenting and sharing this video. Thanks so much for watching and I will see you in next video. Goodbye.